Have you noticed how empty everywhere feels these days? It's not just you. Britain is quietly becoming a nation of nothing. A recent Cambridge University report confirms it. Since 2014, the availability of parks, pubs, banks, GP surgeries, police stations, and even swimming pools has declined across almost all of England. This isn't an accident. It's the result of a 14-year political experiment, one that intended to balance the books but ended up breaking the country. Under the Conservatives, local government funding was cut by over half since 2010 to survive. Councils have sold off billions in public assets and raised your council tax, all while services get worse. Many councils are now effectively bankrupt, just trying to keep the lights on. This was part of a wider plan to reduce government debt. But when you look at the numbers, the scale is staggering. £10 billion cut from education, a 14% budget reduction for the most deprived schools, youth services cut by a third, housing cut in half, and £600 million slashed from cultural spending annually. That last one might sound small, but fast forward 10 years, and the last 5 UK Christmas #1s have been novelty songs about sausage rolls. But the real-world consequences are far more serious. St. Mary's Hospital in London has rotting floors and sewage spilling into outpatient wards, yet it doesn't qualify for urgent repairs because 5 other hospitals are in even worse condition. There's simply not enough money. The goal became to cut the benefits bill, and some methods were simply cruel. Take the bedroom tax. If you were on housing benefits and had a spare room, you faced a penalty. The idea was to encourage moving to smaller homes. But 2/3 of the people paying this penalty were disabled, needing that spare room for medical equipment. It was a tax on low-income, disabled people that saves £390 million over 2 years, less than a single day of NHS funding. The longest and deepest period of wage loss since the Napoleonic Wars. The last 14 years have been worse for your finances than the Great Depression. The median salary in Britain is £32,000, exactly the same as it was in 2005. If wages had kept pace with our trend, the average family would have an extra £11,000 a year. People in former East Germany, who lived under a communist dictatorship for 44 years, are now richer than the average Brit. But why can't we fix it? To understand the present, we have to look at the past. Our problems are the ghosts of a policy from 1947, the Town and Country Planning Act. Before this act, building was booming. In the 1930s, you could build on your own land as long as it was safe. In 1935 alone, nearly 300,000 homes were built. The 1947 Act changed everything. It meant you needed government permission to build anything. The goal was to ensure construction served the public interest, not just profit. Then, in 1979, Margaret Thatcher's government came to power. They slashed funding for public construction, believing the private market would step in. But they forgot to repeal the 1947 Act, so the private market was left desperate to build, but legally unable to do so without a long, expensive, and often impossible permission process. This is why you see absurd stories like this. A plan to replace 330 old homes in East London with 1,600 new, modern ones, including 600 low-income houses near Canary Wharf. The council said yes. The planning board said yes. The residents voted 90% in favor, but the London City Council rejected it because some people said the buildings might be too high, and so the nation stagnates. This bureaucratic nightmare affects everything. HS2, our high-speed rail line, is set to be completed by 2045, 21 years from now. Even then, we'll have less high-speed rail than Romania, Greece, or Serbia. It costs £1 billion just to rebuild a roundabout in Bedfordshire. A 3-mile tunnel under the Thames has produced 359,000 pages of paperwork and not a single shovel of earth has been moved. It took 19 years to approve an expansion of our largest port. In that same time, China has doubled the number of ports under its control in over 50 countries. We are literally incapable of building. And it's not just big projects. When entrepreneurs wanted to turn a dilapidated London phone book, the public urinal and ad space for prostitution into a coffee kiosk, locals rejected it because it was out of character for the historic conservation area. This inability to function extends to the institutions we rely on most. The NHS is a perfect example. For 30 years, the UK has consistently had the lowest cancer survival rates of any developed nation. Infant mortality is 27% higher than the Western European average. An estimated 300 to 500 people die per week due to delays in NHS treatment. We praise the NHS like a god, which makes reform politically impossible. But the reality is, it's struggling to keep people alive. While the government pays poverty wages that drive our best doctors and nurses to Australia and Canada. Meanwhile, the justice system has collapsed. If you commit a crime in Britain today, there's a 95% chance you'll get away with it. Charge rates are abysmal. 5% for assault, 4% for burglary, 1% for mugging. 248 phones are stolen in London every day, and only 2% are ever recovered. Police are told not to bother arresting thieves, but if you smoke cannabis or post an edgy meme, the full weight of the law comes down on you. The state has prioritized punishing the citizen while making crime effectively legal. All of this leads to a grim reality for anyone under 40. While giving away half your income in rent, because the system is rigged. They are protected by the triple lock on pensions, which guarantees their income rises with inflation, wages, or 2.5%, whichever is highest. It's the only benefit with this protection. And who opposes building new homes and infrastructure? Who supports national service for the young, now that they're too old to be conscripted? Polling stations now require IED, but student cards and rent books don't count on me as 60-plus Oyster card does. We don't live in a country, we live in a retirement home. The last 14 years of conservative government have been a masterclass in managed decline. They took a country that was richer per capita than the USA, France, and Japan, and turned it into an international joke. They did it with no real ideological goal, just a bumbling, directionless procession from crisis to crisis. So, what can we do? I don't have all the answers. But if you take one thing from this video, it's this. The bare minimum is to use your vote. Walk into that polling booth at the next election and vote for the candidate most likely to beat your local conservative, whether it's Labour, the Lib Dems, or anyone else. Will a change of government magically fix everything overnight? No. The rot is deep, but it is the first, smallest, and most important step. It gives us a chance to fight for a country that builds things again, that protects its citizens, and that offers young people more than gruel and 100 chess tables. Thanks for watching.